to what we've already given up. It's like we're pacing around the obvious. Separate lives, different stories, 2 out of 4 of us are all fed up. Well, you and I play with fire, but don't say nothing, or we're both busted. We'll get what's coming after you. No, don't say nothing, or bon voyage to rendezvous. Trade fights for better views. We both need something new. Maybe we should just tell them. I should've think I need somebody. So long to rendezvous. So long to.
Hello, hive-minded readers, and welcome to the Books and the Bees podcast. Just like bees play a crucial role in pollinating flowers and sustaining life, books pollinate minds and nurture the soul. We see the connection between the two, the delicate dance of ideas and the stories that enrich our lives.
I'm Cody.
I'm Hailey.
Welcome to our podcast.
Woo woo.
Whew, Hailey, hello.
Hello.
It has been a crazy, almost 2 weeks since we've recorded, even though there's no lapse with the the listener, but it's been a while since we recorded.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute.
Because we both had some pretty crazy life events this past week that made it a little bit of a challenge. So we're recording on a Saturday.
Yeah. Nothing like life, just lobbing a few curveballs into your life, you know?
100%. 100%. But the good news is that you made it to your destination safely.
I did.
And you don't have to worry about the cicadas or the tornadoes anymore.
Exactly.
At least I don't think you do.
Cicadas. Yeah, no. And looks like the cicadas are quite the hindrance over in the Midwest right now. So my heart goes out to any Midwesterner for currently dealing with the cicadas.
Yeah, I want to see it once because I've heard so much about it. It doesn't happen where, I live in Idaho. It doesn't happen where I'm at. But I've always heard it's kind of a crazy thing. But I wouldn't certainly want to live through it. I'd visit it as it's happening and then leave, I guess.
Yeah. Well, and living in Illinois, I lived there all of 2 years. So in the summers, the probably later summer, the cicadas come out, and it's not I don't know, I never saw them when they were out, but they would hang out in the trees and they'd do their little chirping sound that they do. Mm-hmm. And, it wasn't that big of a deal. It was just kind of an ambient noise. But I kid you not, them being out this year, the whatever life stage cycle thing that they're in currently, they were so loud. And then the just you could walk out, so we had a fence on our property, and just all along the fence it was hundreds of them just hanging out, just doing their little thing. I don't know, I didn't appreciate it that much because they crawl out of the ground and it's really creepy, and then they they hang out for a little bit, which I didn't know this, but apparently they literally go into hibernation in the ground and then crawl out, mate, and then die.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What a life.
Yeah. It is crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm glad I'm not having to experience them.
Actually, I don't know if it's going to happen in Chicago, but I have to go to Chicago for a conference next week. And so maybe I'll see something, but I don't know.
You might.
Guess we'll see.
You might see a couple. They're large. They're pretty hard to miss.
Cool. I'm excited then.
Yeah.
Boop, boop.
Yeah.
Fun times. Fun times.
Yes.
Yay. Well, should we jump into what we're reading?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. Hailey, what are you reading?
So I'm still reading Always Practice Safe Hex by Juliette Cross. I think I mentioned it in a few previous episodes, maybe. I mean, I don't remember if it was last episode or not, but I've just kind of slowly been reading it on my Kindle, and it's really good. I would highly, if our listeners are really into like fantasy romance, like paranormal fantasy, like witches, werewolves, that sort of thing. Vampires, kind of the likes of that. I definitely recommend it. It's such a good series. I think I'm 4 books in now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and each book, it's about like a group of sisters, and each book is a different sister's like romance story. It's really good. It's really well written. It almost feels a little bit like slice of lifey, you know?
Nice.
It's just one of those, like, I mean, there's still like things that happen, you know, there's still like conflict and that sort of thing, but it almost feels like I'm watching like a sitcom that I love, you know, just like a, you know. So yeah. And then I just started, so on my road trip, my 30 some hour road trip, I started Swift and Saddled by Lyla Sage, which is the second book in Lyla Sage's series. And because I think there's a third one coming out soon. And yeah, because I read Done and Dusted a few, like maybe a month ago now, and I just started Swift and Saddled, and so far it's really good. I really like it. Haven't really got much into it, but I'm excited to get further into it.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna read. I'm gonna try to read both of those this year, as soon as I don't know. I have like 15 holds that I've been pushing off for the last like month because of the book I finished, which we'll talk about in just a second. But yeah, I'm just now starting to get through those holds. So once I kind of clean up my holds a little bit, then I'll work on those. But I'm like super behind on everything that I want to be reading right now. But they sound really good. They sound really good.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah, I definitely recommend him. If anyone likes like a, I don't know, Western type situation type romances, I don't know. I really liked him. So
yeah, I do. Yeah. I like Westerns, like not the classic Western per se, but there's something about it being in a desert in a situation that I really enjoy. Yeah,
it definitely gives me all the like nostalgia feels of growing up around like rodeos and stuff. So
yeah, that's true.
What are you reading currently, Cody?
Well, I hinted at it just a second ago, but I finally finished Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas. So I'm done with the official series, and I have to say, I think a lot of people tend to really like this book, and I did like it, but I don't think I liked it as much as I thought I was going to. There was so much happening. Like, it is just, for one, it's a massive book, and I probably read it at the most inopportune time of my life because it was like the busiest week of my life that I was finishing this book. But I really did enjoy it. I thought it was a good conclusion to the series. I think I liked how the characters all ended up, you know, all their stories wrapped up nicely. You don't have any like missing elements of the story. Great ending to a great series. I think I can officially say that I like Throne of Glass more than I like ACOTAR. Not that I don't like ACOTAR, but I think Throne of Glass is just more a nice traditional fantasy that gets better with each book. And ACOTAR, the fantasy element is kind of missing, and the romance element is really strong. And that seems to be the focus of the later books for ACOTAR, whereas Throne of Glass was very much like, I would say, high fantasy the whole way through, which is kind of more my bent of things. So, but I'm glad I did it, because I think I mentioned it on the podcast. I did not like Throne of Glass at all, the first book. It was very, I don't want to say poorly written, but it very much seemed like a debut novel in the sense that like Sarah J. Maas was not fully, realized as an author. And then I read Crown of Midnight and totally changed my opinion of the whole series. And I'm glad I finished it because it's a really good series, and I'm glad I read it.
Yeah, I think it's one of those series where like you can tell kind of that it gets more fine-tuned the further you go.
Yeah, Yeah,
Yeah,
and
but-
the plot structure like that carries throughout the books is very well done. You can tell that she was spending a lot of time thinking about how all the stories are going to go together, which I think is really nice. So yeah, it's great. Great series.
It is a great series. I think it's probably one of my top 5.
Yeah, I would say so too. I think. Yeah. And then because I finished Kingdom of Ash last week, I started a book that was on our 2024 anticipated books, which is Book of Love by Kelly Link. And this is a book that is actually it's a pretty big book, and I'm kind of surprised that I picked it up because I've been trying to read short books after Kingdom of Ash. But I've read a few comics in between Kingdom of Ash and Book of Love because they're really good palate cleansers. But Book of Love is about this group of friends who they died mysteriously, and they come back to life without knowing how they died or the manner of their death. And they are supposed to work with who I think is the devil to figure out how they died, and there's a riddle they have to solve. And basically their death is wiped away, and the friends were supposedly gone to Ireland, is what all the families are told, so that nobody knows they were dead. They were missing for a year, but they all were supposedly on this Ireland trip. And so now they all know that they died, but no one else does. And so they're dealing with the repercussions of it. And it's told in the rotating narrative of all 4 friends and a few other characters as well. And so far it's really good. I've really enjoyed it. So I'm looking forward to diving into it more, but yeah.
Yeah. It sounds like a really interesting book and a really interesting premise. Yeah, this sounds really interesting.
Yeah, I've heard that Kelly Link is an author of weird fiction, and it hasn't been super weird yet, but I think it's about ready to take a turn here pretty soon. So I'm kind of excited to see where it goes.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like I said, it sounds interesting, and I feel like I haven't really heard of a lot of books with like that sort of premise before. So
yeah, me either. Yeah, me either.
Exciting.
Yeah, it is. I'm excited to get to it. I also have speaking of comics, I'm not going to list them all, but I'm sitting at my desk right now, and I've got like 5 comics that I have to read, which I'm very excited to get into too. So maybe I'll mention some of those on the next episode.
Yeah.
Whoop whoop.
Absolutely.
Okay. Should we jump into beekeeping?
Yeah, sure.
Hailey, I think you have beekeeping.
Yeah, I have, well, yeah.
I know that you sent me something, but I forgot what it was.
Oh, that's right. I do. Oh, man. Let me refresh my brain real quick. Yeah. Listen, for our listeners, it's been one hell of a week for me this week.
Yeah, it has.
Packing and moving and blah, 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 blah. I mean, it's a lot. It's been a lot.
It has been a lot.
Yeah, okay. So, beekeeping. And, okay, I'm going to premise this with a little bit of what's the word? Not a caveat. Kind of just a disclaimer. Like, I'm not going to say, like, who the post was by or any of that. I'm gonna kind of try to keep it loose with the details of the post, but
okay.
And more in the realm of like the overall theme that was kind of jarring to me. So and it might turn into a little bit of a tangent, but so I was on Bookstagram. And sometimes Bookstagram will or Instagram in general, will like recommend posts, or it'll show you posts of like people that you don't follow. So I don't remember if I was actually like following this Instagrammer or not, or Bookstagrammer, I guess. But like apparently it's like becoming a thing or a trend right now, where people are posting their books that they don't like, or that like books, like popular books on like Book Talk or Bookstagram that like you couldn't convince them to read, or like that they don't like, or that sort of thing, like that kind of vibe. Which is all fine and dandy. Like, let me just disclaimer this, that like everyone is entitled to their own opinion about books. It's art, right? It's so personalized to each person's individual, you know, likes, dislikes, whatever. And I'm not trying to yuck anyone's yum, but that's kind of like what this trend is giving, is like, and the certain post that I saw was very much in the realm of like just straight out bashing like these quote unquote popular books, just because it's, I don't know if it's like a popular thing to do right now. And it's just so strange to me that and like I said, like, you know, everyone's entitled to not like a book, but it just felt very strange to me that, you know, an individual with thousands of followers, or even that this is a trend for people to put like pictures of the books that they don't like, and then like the authors are seeing, like, I don't know. It was quite the post. I was like, oh my goodness, like, it's just, I feel like that's not the kind of vibes that I would want to put out into the world. But yeah, I just couldn't believe it was a trend.
That's, I agree with you. I think it's weird to do it on Instagram. I mean, we don't really talk about books that we don't like. We definitely, like, there's been books that we both didn't like that we haven't really talked about on the podcast. But when we do talk about a book we don't like, we're very, I think, courteous about it. At least hopefully we are. The post that you shared with me was, I would say, not courteous in any way, shape, or form. And for me, like, Instagram is for connecting with authors and with other readers. I think if you want to get feedback on a book, that, like, if you're like, should I read this book? Then I think Goodreads is the place where, like, reviews should be more, I don't want to, like, honest, but still not mean, I think. But like Goodreads is where I look to be like, oh, like, am I going to like this book? Like, what are people not liking about this book? Whereas Instagram is more like a vibe check than it is a, you know, like, in-depth review place for books. Yeah, exactly. And like, and I think that that's the problem that I had with this trend that I was seeing. And then I saw another, because I mean, in the you would go into the comments on this, and I'm just using this post as an example. There was others, but because, like I said, it was a trend. There was just like hundreds of comments on this post where people were like, because it was like 10, maybe less, books that this Bookstagrammer had posted, and the comments were all just like, almost like, yeah, that book was terrible, and then this book was terrible, and it was like X, Y, Z, and just like, I just like, okay, from my perspective, the way that I see this, it's like, imagine you're an author, even like an indie author, right? Because some authors start out as indie authors, and their debut book is an indie book, and then they get picked up by a publisher. So imagine you spend your whole, like, a year or 2, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years working on a book that you think is going to be just like epic, and you finally make your big break on your book that you know, put out into the world, and you come across like trends like this where people are just like saying everything that was wrong with your book. And I don't know, like, to me that would just suck, you know, to be in like an author's shoes and to see your book on some page, and then all these hundreds of comments of people like piggybacking and being like, yes, that was a terrible book. I don't know, like, that's just kind of like the way that I walk around the world, is with the viewpoint of like that, like, empathy, you know, where you're like, how would this person feel if I were them, you know, that sort of thing. Or how would I feel if I was that person, that sort of thing. But yeah, I don't know. I'm all for having like opinions, abso-freaking-lutely. And I'm all for not liking books. There's tons of books that I've not liked.
Or maybe I was like not kind of vibing with. But I don't think that that's any reason to like post, like make a trend out of it to, because there was another post, and I didn't follow the person that I saw the post, but it was like, I think it was under the hashtag or whatever was on that other post that I came across. And like I said, I'm gonna be vague because I don't want to like call anyone out or anything. That's not my vibe. But it was like, it was something along the lines of basically like the this is why we should, or like make it popular to like hate books or something, or like to public, I don't know. It was just like the weirdest, I don't know.
Yeah.
It just seems so strange.
I agree. I just don't think, I don't know. For one, if I don't like a book, I'm going to usually dump it before I finish reading it. And at that point, like, I'm just, I wouldn't talk about the book badly because I didn't finish it. And who knows, maybe it turns into a great book, or maybe it just wasn't for me at the right time or whatever. But like, there are too many books out there that I want to read. And so if I don't like a book, I'm just going to move on to the next book. And I'm not going to tell people that I didn't like the book, unless it's like in a very specific situation.
Yeah. I think that like negative reviews of books should, like you said, should be saved for places like Goodreads and book clubs, you know? Like, if you're in a book club and they're like, oh, what'd you think of this book? Oh, it wasn't really for me, or I didn't like XYZ about it, or like these things, you know, didn't jive with how I, you know, would normally go about books.
Right.
That's totally fair. But yeah, there was just something about the publicness of it. It was like, geez Louise.
Yeah, because you know we've interfaced with authors on Bookstagram, and yeah, I would feel bad if an author saw the post that we're talking about. Like if I had made that post and an author saw it and commented on it, I would feel bad about it. So, yeah,
right.
Don't do it, I guess. Yeah.
Just don't be out here yucking other people's yums. You know.
Yep, that's so true. So true.
That's my beekeeping.
I will say my one caveat to that is if the book is like blatantly like homophobic or racist or something like that, then I feel like it's a slightly different situation, but that's pretty rare-ish nowadays. So, yeah.
The context for our listeners who are maybe wondering, the context of this post was very much like, I didn't like this book because it was too long.
Yeah.
It's like, well, okay.
And it's not even that big of a book, honestly. Because my wife owns a book, so I looked at it. It's not that big. It's not that big of a book. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Calm down.
It's like, calm down.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
It's not that serious, people. They're just books. You don't have to read it if you don't like it. It's okay.
So true. So true.
But yeah. Do you have any beekeeping? I don't have anything.
I do not have any beekeeping except for next week is going to be our start of Assassin's Blade. Which means for us, so we have to start reading it like today so that we can record on Wednesday.
Yep. Need to get on that.
I'm going to cut that out. Yeah.
I did see that the books, or not the books, but like each novella is like fairly short. So, you know, if maybe our listeners are a little apprehensive about, you know, oh my gosh, is this going to be another like a long read or something? It's not. It's truly not. When I looked on like the page count for the novellas, so book one is The Assassin and the Pirate Lord. And it is... How many pages are you? It's literally 38 pages.
Oh, easy. That's like a short story.
Yeah. Yeah, easy peasy. Truly.
Wait, is there more than 4?
And then...
In the book?
No. I was like, oh, please no.
I must be looking at the wrong thing.
Well,
Because this says
so
5.
Mine, 5.
So okay, so I'm on Amazon looking at the Assassin's Blade, and it's the original cover, and it says Assassin and the Pirate King, Assassin and the Healer, Assassin in the Desert, Assassin and the Underworld, and Assassin in the Empire.
Oh.
So maybe we have 5.
I didn't see the Assassin and the Healer. On iBooks, it just has the Assassin and the Pirate Lord, Assassin in the Desert, Assassin in the Underworld, and Assassin in the Empire.
Weird.
Interesting.
Because I always thought it was 4 too.
Same.
Okay, well, we will investigate and get back to you all. For now, we're definitely going to read The Assassin and the Pirate Lord for next week. So go ahead and start reading that. If it's 38 pages, I think it's going to be pretty doable. Yeah, and I'm excited for it because I am kind of missing the character.
Yeah. There is a very special place in my heart for a few of the characters in that series. The way that the relatability that those characters are written is pretty.
Yeah.
Even though it's like, time and genre and all that other, fun stuff, but
yeah,
the characters and the struggles that they go through is pretty relatable, I think.
It is very, very true. Yeah, I'm seeing 5 on the library one as well.
Okay, well, then we got 5.
So we got 5. Okay, easy.
Cool.
Oh, and I have to place a hold on this one? Oh, no. Okay, well,
No.
problem solved, I think. Okay, glad we figured that out. Yeah, so that's all the bookkeeping I have. All right. Well, should we get to our main event for today?
Yeah, sounds good.
So today we're going to be talking about what our favorite book snacks are. Snacks that we like to read with. Or drinks we like to read with. Which I feel like we're both a little passionate about it. So I'm excited.
Yes.
So do we want to start with what our favorite beverages are to read with?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, why don't you go first, Hailey?
My usual go-to is typically like something bubbly. I really love like I'm one of those like seltzer water people that I don't know, the carbonation's great, and I'm not a big fan of like pop soda, whatever you want to call it. So I tend to go for like there's this not like LaCroix. LaCroix is one of them. But whatever brand, doesn't really matter as long as it's got a little bit of carbonation in it. I just love with some ice, nice ice beverage, really nice. And then I love like an iced matcha. It's such a good, because it's got like a little bit of caffeine kick, and then and I usually do like a matcha latte situation where I'll put like oat milk in it. So I'll do like that iced, or like an iced coffee. I love an iced coffee.
Yeah,
those are like my go-to drinks.
those sound great.
Yeah,
I'm also a big sparkling water fan.
Yeah, it like I don't know, especially like in the summer, it's perfect. Especially if you're like sitting outside reading and you just need something super refreshing. It just goes hand in hand.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah, sparkling water is really nice. Not a big LaCroix fan, but just sparkling water in general, I enjoy.
There's this brand. It's not a water. It's a juice, but it's like ice brand. It's like the brand is called Ice.
Oh,
and
okay.
They have like bottles of them, and I think you can get them at like Sam's Club, Costco, whatever your persuasion is. Also like any grocery store, but you can get them like in bulk there. Or they have them like sometimes they'll be like $1, like 10 for $1 at like a local grocery store. And they have like all sorts of flavors. They have like black cherry and mango and like random like lemonade, and they're super carbonated. I don't know. I just really like them. They're tasty. And like I said, I don't do a lot of pop. So although I will say if I am going to do soda, my go-tos are root beer, Sprite, and Dr. Pepper. So.
Oh, wow. I pretty much do diet only now. So I do like Coke Zero.
No offense.
Yeah, I do Coke Zero, and like I'll do an occasional Sprite. If I can find a diet Sprite, I'm usually very excited about it because it's not very common. Or I love Diet Dr. Pepper, so I do that. Yeah, but I love Coke Zero.
Ugh. Yeah, I'm not. I don't know. I'm not a big Coca-Cola type of girl, or Pepsi. I don't like Pepsi either. But
really, is it like the dark,
like the cola? Yeah, and I like so growing up. Yeah, growing up, I wasn't allowed to have a lot of like dark soda. For whatever reason, I don't know, but I was allowed to have like root beer, and then I would like sneak Dr. Pepper with my friends. Like I would go to my friend's house who would have like all sorts of pop, and then I would drink Dr. Pepper over there, or like if we went to like a out food, like a Taco Bell or some shit.
Oh yeah,
I would grab a Dr. Pepper. So
yeah, my wife's a big Dr. Pepper fan too, so we don't buy soda very much anymore, but when we go out, that's usually what we get.
Yep.
Yeah. I do like a soda when I read too. I like a good soda, especially in the summertime. I feel like summer is a great soda drinking time. Yeah.
What other beverages do you have, Cody?
Well, so my favorite beverages are usually hot beverages. So I love to drink coffee or tea when I'm reading, depending on the time of day usually, because in the morning I'm drinking coffee. In the evening, I'm drinking coffee right now, so I could be drinking coffee and reading, but tea, like herbal tea, is one of my go-tos. Or I will read a book with like a glass of wine, or maybe like a whiskey or a scotch if I have it around the house, which is not, incredibly common these days. I don't really drink a whole lot of hard alcohol at home. And I'll have a beer and read occasionally as well. But honestly, I tend to lean more towards the coffee and the tea, or just plain water. Like I'll just drink ice water at home and read while I'm drinking that, which is really nice. So not too crazy with the beverages. I'm not a big cold beverage person. I kind of like my hot beverages, but once it starts getting to like the 90-degree days, 100-degree days, then I'm going to have to switch to something cold for sure.
Yeah, then it's like miserable because you're like, oh god, like I'm usually a room temperature water drinker. Like I don't like my water cold, but if it's super hot, it just hits,
Yeah.
So.
I do have this this thing that I do, and I guess it's kind of a beverage, but I'll take ice and water in my blender with a Crystal Light packet, and I'll make like a quote unquote slushy out of it. Yeah. And I'll do that while I'm reading, but it's a little challenging because I usually eat it with a spoon, and it's kind of hard to do that while you're reading, but that is something I like to do. I do that year round actually. So I'm known to do that as well.
That sounds so refreshing. I must say, in the wintertime, I do a lot of like hot cider. I'll like go buy apple cider, and then I'll kind of dress it up with like cloves and cinnamon and orange like zest or orange slices or whatever. And then because I used to do hot cocoa. I love hot cocoa. Don't get me wrong, but I swear to God, like every time I drink hot cocoa, something terrible in my life happens, and then so like me and my husband have kind of just sworn off hot chocolate altogether.
Oh no.
It's like cursed, I
Yikes.
swear. Yeah, so hot apple cider it is.
Because I also love hot chocolate.
Yeah, it's so good. Especially, okay, are you like a mini marshmallow person, no marshmallows, or jumbo marshmallows?
I do no marshmallows,
Normal marshmallows.
but
okay.
with milk. I make it with milk.
Yeah. Milk is superior, truly.
Yeah.
Water, it's in a pinch. Water's fine, but
Yeah, sure.
milk is superior.
Like if I'm like when I'm camping, we do hot chocolate relatively often, and I do that with water. But
Yeah.
at home with like the canned powder mix instead of like the packets, 100% do that with milk.
Yeah, that's top tier.
Yeah, it was delicious. It's
They-
delicious.
At one of the grocery stores in Illinois, we came across Lucky Charm marshmallows. So, like, imagine the marshmallows in Lucky Charms, but like jumbo and real marshmallows, and then you get to put them in your cocoa.
That's cool. That's very
So
cool.
good.
I
They're
like that.
so good, and they're all rainbowy and pretty. I don't know. You ever want to like spice up your hot chocolate? I'm a like bougie hot chocolate type of girl where like I'll make it look super. With the, I want all the stops. And obviously I do like dairy free stuff. So like I'll put like oat milk or whatever. But I'll do like the whipped cream, the marshmallows, the candy canes on top. I want the works.
Yeah, I'll do mushrooms occasion or mushrooms. I'll do marshmallows occasionally, not
I hope
mushrooms.
not mushrooms.
But I don't love marshmallows unless I have a weird thing where I like to eat marshmallows that are hard. So like they don't really fit well in a drink that way. But I'll do a candy cane on occasion, or just like Cool Whip. I'll put some Cool Whip in my hot chocolate. But that's about it. I'm not too I'm not too spicy with it, for sure.
Yeah.
But it's good.
Yeah.
But in the summertime, it's not.
No, summertime not a thing. Especially where like we are. It's too hot.
Yeah.
Truly.
Yeah, it's gonna be 100 degrees not too long from now, and you're just gonna be miserable all day. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Ice beverages on deck.
For sure. So about our snack preferences. What is your favorite thing to snack on when you're reading?
Yeah. So my all-time favorite snack to snack on while reading is frozen grapes. Like
Frozen grapes,
top tier,
specifically.
Specifically frozen grapes. I'll settle for like regular grapes, but I'm a big frozen grape girly. There's something about like the frozen texture. There's like crunchy, but like cold and sweet, and I don't know. And you can just like eat a bunch of them in one sitting, and not feel, at least for me, I don't feel too guilty about eating like a whole bowl of grapes in one sitting.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's like my go-to, and that has always been my go-to. Like even when I was in high school, I have like very vivid memories of like going out in the summertime after like soccer practice or whatever, and just sitting out like on my parents' like patio area, and I would sit there for hours in the summertime just reading, and I would just have like a giant bowl of like frozen grapes next to me, and like they kind of get like a little soggy, which is not fun, but just like because like I don't know, sometimes I don't know what it is about grapes, but the like frozen to not frozen, it makes them kind of lose their like plumpness.
Yikes.
Yeah, so texturally, if that's not up someone's alley, then but I just very vivid memories of sitting there eating copious amounts, probably like way too many to be completely honest, just sitting there reading because I would just get my nose stuck in a book, and I needed something to snack on.
Yeah.
So,
I've never eaten frozen grapes before.
you have to try it.
I will try it.
Just once. And just put like a little bit in there.
Yeah, I'll try some. Because one of the things that I have on my list too is I just like regular grapes a lot because they're easy to eat with your hand. They don't make a mess. And I love like really tart grapes, even really tart fruit in general. And green grapes, for me specifically, are like my favorite because they have that kind of extra little bit of tartness to them that I really like.
Yeah, I like both equally, but for some reason it seems to me like the red ones are always more in abundance, so that's usually
that's true.
What I end up having to buy.
That is true.
And like, side note, pro tip for anyone buying grapes, buy grapes with a greener stem and they will last longer.
Oh, really?
You're welcome.
I didn't know that. That makes sense, though.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Yeah, I do. The grapes are so good because, I mean, I like to have fruit in general, but like, I love oranges, but I hate eating them because they're so messy. I hate peeling oranges, and then when you open the orange up, there's always like a part of it that explodes all over you, and then your hands get that like sticky residue. And so it's such a pain in the butt to eat them. Especially when you're reading.
Yeah. I'm a big proponent of, I don't like things that make my hands super messy when I'm reading a book. Obviously, especially like a physical book. If I'm on my Kindle, it's not that big of a deal, or my phone, it's not that big of a deal. But if I have like a physical copy of a book in my hands, I'm going for some non-messy snacks.
That's true. Well, in honor of that comment, I will say one of my favorite things to eat all the time, but when I'm reading too, are Cheetos. Specifically, flaming hot lime Cheetos. I love those things so much that I don't buy them because I will go through them so quickly in such an unhealthy fashion. But I love to eat them. And my trick is, when I'm reading with them, is to use chopsticks to keep the residue from getting on my book.
Yeah.
Or to use a Kindle.
And that's like, I don't know. I've yet to implement that, and I probably should. I have chopsticks like in my arsenal of, cutlery, I guess. Utensils for eating.
Yeah.
But I never like thought to do that until I think we had talked about it.
I think we have
once.
talked about it on the podcast before, yeah.
But I still have not tried it yet. And I definitely need to, for sure.
I don't honestly pull it out very often because, like, not that it's hard to eat Cheetos with chopsticks. I mean, it's like one of the easiest things to eat with chopstick, arguably, but it's just an extra thing I have to grab when I'm preparing to read, and that usually deters me, which is kind of stupid, but
no, that's definitely like, I feel like that's one of the well, at least for me, it's a deciding factor when you're going to go read, because you got your hands full and you can't freaking you don't want to be juggling a bunch of crap while you're trying to go find a place to read and sit down, and you gotta like settle in, and you gotta put all your stuff
that is true,
situated, and
that is true.
I will say that sometimes having, like, back to our drinks, a cold drink can be problematic because of, like, the condensation on the drink. And then, like, if you get it, like, too close to the book or the book pages, then you got wet paint, and it's just not a fun time.
Yep, that's so true. That is so true. That does happen a lot. Yeah. So I love to have Cheetos with everything, but especially with reading. It's very fun. Although I don't do it very often because of the residue and the chopsticks part. What is another thing that you like to have with books?
I usually enjoy like, I'm a big chocolate type of person. I love lots of different chocolates. I like specifically, I really enjoy either like the Lind chocolate, like truffle things.
Oh,
you can buy
those are
them,
so
like,
good.
They're so good.
Oh my god, they're
I can't
addicting.
Eat too many of them. Yeah. I can't eat too many of them because they're so rich, and also they're expensive as hell. So like, it's like top tier. Well, maybe not top tier chocolate. Someone from like Switzerland or something is gonna be like, that's not okay. But like for me, for some lowly U.S. person who has to deal with like fake chocolate, looking at you, Hershey's.
Right.
But Yeah, Lind, like, their chocolates are just so delicious. They're creamy and they melt really easy. But again, yeah, I can't eat too many of them. So, I mean, I'll grab like a couple or like 3 and then I'll eat them and then I'll read my book and that's pretty much it. So they're not really like a snacking necessarily type of chocolate, I guess.
Yeah. That's good self-control though, because honestly, like for me, only to eat 3 of those in one sitting is tough because they are so good, but they are very rich. So I do get that.
They're so rich. They like borderline give me a stomachache if I get too many. If I eat too many of them.
Yeah, that's so true. Same with like the Ferrero Rocher. I love those things so freaking much, but
yeah,
if you get too many of them, you do get sick.
Yes. Yeah. I actually don't really like them that much.
What?
But that's because when I was little, family members used to joke that it was not, I don't want to say it on the podcast.
Oh no.
But like they would say that it was like gross things, like cat crap essentially. But
oh my gosh. Wow.
Yeah.
But they're delicious.
I know. No, I think that they taste good.
I love them.
But definitely not something that I would gravitate towards or pull, you know, if you're at the grocery store and you're looking at the candy aisle, not something that I would go to.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's so funny. Yeah. I love those. And I love the Lant truffles too. So totally get that. Yeah.
Yeah, and the Ghirardelli. Okay, also Ghirardelli squares. Oh,
yes,
I can eat the whole bag.
No,
seriously.
Those are so good.
Like,
those are really
they're so good. The peppermint bark ones, top tier. S tier.
Oh, I don't think I've tried that.
Yeah, they're so good.
I'll have to try that one out.
I also eat so like, you know how some people eat Kit Kats in a certain way?
Mm-hmm.
I eat Ghirardelli squares a certain way. I like eat around the outside ridge, and then I like eat until, because you know how it has like the little bird, I don't know if it's like an eagle or what, on the like Ghirardelli sign stamped into the chocolate. I will eat around that and then eat that part. So
that's interesting. I've not heard that before.
Yep, that's a little.
I like I like the ones with the caramel inside.
Yeah,
and I break them like in half and like stretch the caramel and then eat the halves. Like the salted caramel with the like dark chocolate is so freaking good. Oh my gosh. But that's one, I'll only eat one of those because that is really rich as well. And especially caramel. Like I'm not a big caramel fan. I just need a little tiny bit and then I'm like completely set.
Yeah.
Oh, those are so good. I do want those now. Ugh.
Our poor listeners are going to get through this episode. They're like, wow, now I need to buy all these snacks.
Yeah. Well, this fits too because candy was on my list, and I have it pretty broad because I like a lot of different candy. I do have kind of a sweet tooth. I tend to lean more towards the like Skittles, gummy bear, like lemon drops, things like that kind of a candy. I actually don't do chocolate all that often because really like a little bit of chocolate does it pretty much for me. But yeah, I love Skittles. Like I'll buy a fun size bag of Skittles and have them throughout the week, or a like bag of gummy bears or gummy worms or sour gummy worms or like any combination of those. I just love them. And I love to read while munching on those too because they are super good.
Yeah. See, and you say gummy bears, and I think of, so I really enjoy chocolate covered gummy bears, and those are also something chocolate that I love.
I've never had chocolate covered gummy bears.
They're so good. I don't know a lot of people that really know about them or eat them, but like my friends have this ongoing joke that I'm like an old lady on the inside because I like chocolate covered gummy bears, which like who the hell really eats those anyways? And because I used to get them from like Hallmark, like the Hallmark stores. Like,
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Like that's where we would like, well, because they use, and I don't know if they do anymore since like COVID and all that, but They used to have like a little oh, what's that called? Like not like a deli, but like that kind of where they have like
what Cracker Barrel has, kind of.
Yeah, where they have like different little like treats and stuff that you can like, oh, I want like a pound of this, or I want like, 2 ounces of, whatever.
Yeah.
And I would get chocolate covered gummy bears, chocolate covered orange sticks. They're like orange jelly sticks.
Wow.
Or like gelatinous. They're like,
oh, I've had those. Those are so good.
Yeah,
I've had those.
They're really good.
They're really good.
They're really good. They're not a lot of people know about them, but they're good. And then I love black licorice. Like I think it's like Wallaby brand is really
yeah.
Excuse me. Is really good.
I hate black licorice, but
see, yeah, and that a lot of people do not like black licorice. So I'll eat Good and Plenty, like copious amounts of Good and Plenty.
Oh, God.
I'll do it until like it makes my mouth hurt. Because I've noticed that like if you eat too much black licorice, it almost like it does the same kind of effect that if you eat too many sour things, you know how like your mouth kind of gets like a weird like numbness to it.
Yeah, like
that sounds so weird,
sore almost.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do get that.
Yeah, so that's like another candy type thing that I really enjoy, and I could probably eat like a whole box of Good and Plenty just sitting there reading.
Oof, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't do that. Can't do the black licorice. I actually don't even like red licorice that much. Mm-hmm. It's pretty rare that I do that.
I like black licorice better than I like red licorice. I think like red licorice almost makes me sick if I eat too much of it.
So that's kind of how I feel. Like once I have like more than 2 strands of it, I'm like, oh, this is like, it's kind of got that weird sweetness to it that I just don't love
almost
a lot
like
of.
Artificial.
Yeah, it is almost like that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But when I was a kid, oh man, I would eat red licorice all the freaking time, but not so much anymore.
Are you a Red Vines or a Twizzler?
I am a Red Vines person.
Same.
Those are like more the not shiny ones, right? It's been so long that I've had. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Like there are Twizzler, like they have these new ones that are like flavored with different,
really?
And they have like a filling in them, and they kind of taste a little bit what I would think Play-Doh tastes like, but they do taste kind of good, and so occasionally I'll get those, but it's pretty rare.
Yeah, I if I do eat Twizzlers, it's the little the cherry bites, like the little like bite-sized pieces.
Yeah, those are good.
Those ones are good.
Yeah, I do like those. Yeah. I do like those.
Yeah, and I don't know about you, but like I love M&Ms. Like M&M, specifically peanut M&Ms, but I'll or mini M&Ms, but any M&Ms I really do. When I'm reading, like M&Ms just first of all, they're so easy to snack on, and second of all, like they're so tasty, and I don't make my stomach hurt. Oh,
well, I have to say, I hate M&Ms so much.
No.
Because I have this weird food rule that if they're colored different colors, they have to have a different flavor to match. And so M&Ms break this rule. I've never liked M&Ms. I do eat peanut M&Ms, but it's pretty rare, honestly. Like the peanut M&Ms I do like enjoy. The regular M&Ms, they, for one, I don't like the way they taste. Like the chocolate's really weird to me, and they melt so quickly in your hand that it's kind of a pain in the butt. But the fact that they don't have flavors irks me a lot.
That's so funny. I also probably eat them a little strangely. I feel like this episode is just turning into like us like admitting our weird little quirks of our candy preferences. But our listeners get a little sneak peek into our brains.
So true.
I really like. Well, it's not that I like. I have to eat. First of all, I have to eat M&Ms by twos, and I have to eat them separated out by color. It doesn't really matter which color, but I will. I will save blues if I have like enough to make an even number. I will save them for last to eat.
Because you don't like them?
No, because
because-
I love the color blue.
Oh, okay. So you like to save those for the
So-
end.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even though they all taste the same. Yeah. Yep. Have to. But I eat all of my candy. Like, I'll eat Good and Plenty in 2s. I'll eat M&Ms in 2s. I'll eat Skittles in 2s. All the same flavor in Skittles. But I'm not.
Oh, see,
I don't
with
eat a lot of
Skittles,
hard-
with Skittles, I will just shovel like 10 of them in my mouth, and it doesn't matter what they are. I'll just go for it.
It's too much. Have you ever had the like tropical Skittles? I think it's
Yes.
the purple pack.
I
That one's my
love
favorite.
those. I love those. Yeah.
Yeah. those
I
ones
think
are my
that's the blue
favorite.
pack. I think that's the blue.
Is it? Okay.
Purple is, I think, I also like the purple one. I think it's like the berry
Okay.
with like strawberry and like blackberry and stuff like that. But those are
Yeah.
both very good Skittle
Very
varieties.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Skittles,
don't
if
like
you
the
wanna
banana
sponsor us.
ones though. Yeah, Skittle
Banana.
sponsor us.
I don't think I've ever come across the banana.
I think it's the yellow ones
The
in
yellow
the
ones?
tropical.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is that
Or
what
maybe-
flavor that is? That's so funny because I guess my brain never like put that together.
Well, now you make me wonder
What
if that's
flavor
true.
That is.
I think it is
No,
banana.
it's probably true. My brain. Banana is one of those flavors I feel like though where it depending on what kind of candy it's in, it's like that's not banana. No way.
Yeah.
You know?
Honestly, I don't like any artificial banana flavoring at all. Same with grape. I
Yeah.
like grape artificial flavoring. I'm not a big fan of.
Nope. My apologies to any of our listeners, and maybe that's your favorite, but grape is a no for me.
Yeah, my wife likes grape Crystal Light. She likes grape Crystal Light,
Okay.
and it's not my favorite.
I don't mind like a grape soda, like
Oh,
God,
God,
the
nope.
like old school like I'm talking like early 2000s, like the purple cans grape soda.
Oh
that was my jam.
gosh, yeah, I don't like those or the orange. Honestly,
I think I'd rather have grape than orange.
I would definitely rather have orange than grape, but I would rather not have either. Like
Yeah, that's
Fanta,
fair.
I don't like Fanta at all.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
a big fan of. Not a big fan of Fanta. Sorry, Fanta.
Sorry, Fanta, don't sponsor us.
Yeah, sorry.
No,
Don't
actually, do sponsor us. We'll pretend to like it for money.
Fanta, if you're listening to this,
Yeah, please. We're sorry for what we just said.
yeah,
We'll take it
Skittles,
back.
Skittles. If you're listening, Skittles, hit us up.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I love sour Skittles too. So, I'm ready for all the main types.
Yeah,
Ready for all the main types.
Yeah, I don't know. Is there any foods that like you would never eat while reading?
I know some people who like to eat like a full meal while they're reading,
Oh my goodness.
and I struggle with it. Like, there was a time when I was trying to read during breakfast, and like if I was making like a bagel or like eggs and bacon or something, and if I was trying to eat it, I struggled with it. Like, it was just too much work, and so
Yeah.
I wouldn't say there's like a specific food I won't eat to read with, but I won't do a full meal.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know why, but I always correlate reading with like snacking or reading with like a like coffee shop. So like I'm thinking like
Yes.
pastry or like
Yeah.
a muffin or whatever,
100%.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is so funny because I sometimes will sit and read while I eat my oatmeal in the mornings. But yeah, if it's like a bagel or like a sandwich or something, probably won't.
Yeah, I've tried to read at restaurants, like, if I'm
Yeah.
away for a conference or like whatever, I end up at a restaurant eating alone. Like, I'll try to read, but the second the food comes, it just becomes too much of a hassle that I just end up stop reading.
Yeah. Yeah, kudos to those people who can do that. If if any of your listeners sit and eat your meals while you read, let us know, because I'd be
That's so true.
interested in how you manage that. I don't have the dexterity, I don't think, to... And I like to...
Yeah.
I don't know, like, I'm one of those people where I really like to... If I'm eating a meal, then I'm, like, really focused on the meal, I'm not, like, trying to do other stuff while I'm eating.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Well, do we have any other food types we want to talk about?
Not that I can think of.
Oh, yeah, popcorn. I love to read while eating popcorn. I was going to say that.
Okay.
But I just love popcorn in general. That's like my evening meal, or like my evening snack is popcorn usually. Yeah. So I tend to snack on the popcorn while I'm reading too, for sure.
Yeah. I can't eat popcorn anymore. It gets too stuck in my teeth, and then I'm left with like digging popcorn kernels out for
That's
hours.
So true. Yeah, that is a risk, 100%. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Definitely a messy on your teeth kind of snack.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And I really, if I do eat popcorn, it's kettle corn. Like the sugary kettle, like the pieces where it's like clumped together and there's like pockets of like sugar. Just, yeah, that's my stuff.
I do tend to avoid that, actually. I prefer like microwave popcorn. And I get this, like, I don't know what the brand is, but it's like this Smart Pop, so it has less butter on it, because I don't really like a lot of butter on my popcorn either. But I do like salt, so I'll add a little bit extra salt to it. But yeah, I try to get the low butter to make it a little bit easier to eat.
Yeah. Yeah, and I
but it's
think
good.
Like popcorn, like chips, specifically Cheetos.
Oh, chips. Yeah.
I can't eat when I'm reading, it's too messy on my fingers. And I hate, I don't know about any of our listeners or like you, but like when I'm reading and if my fingers are oily for any freaking reason and I touch my pages and then it leaves that horrible, awful, oily stain on my pages, I get so angry.
No, it's 100%. Like that's a big risk for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even with my Kobo, I'll try because I mean it's easier to wipe off, but still like the button gets kind of dirty.
Oh, it's the worst.
And I'm always afraid it's going to get inside and like ruin the button or the screen or something. And so I tend to get kind of paranoid about that too. Yeah, fun times.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard out there, We're trying to read and eat at the same time. Like, jeez.
We're just trying to sustain our bodies enough so we can get through every book possible.
So true. So freaking true. Well, if you have a favorite snack that you would like to share with us, please let us know. We would love to hear what the Hive Mind has to say about what they like to snack on or drink on while they're reading. We'd love to hear it. So we have an email, booksandbeastpod@gmail.com. Instagram is @booksandthebeastpod. Please reach out and tell us how you feel about snacking in general or anything in general. If you want to just say hi, just say hi to us. We love it.
Yeah, we do.
And if you haven't already, give us a review on your podcast listening app. We are on Apple Podcasts and we will very soon be on YouTube, whatever their YouTube app is called, their podcast app, because apparently it's really hard to do it. Because you have to get verification, which we finally did. But hopefully we'll be up by the time this podcast episode comes out. But yeah, fun times. And I want to give a shout out to the American Indie for the use of their song Rendezvous. It's the intro and outro for our podcast, and we love it. So thank you so much. You can check them out on Spotify.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, is there anything else you want to mention?
Nope.
All right. Well, we hope you enjoyed this literary journey as much as we did. If you're buzzing with excitement, don't forget to subscribe, email us, and leave a high five-worthy review on your podcast listening app. Until next time, happy reading, and may your shelves be filled with tales as enchanting as a blooming garden. Keep the buzz alive, and we'll catch you in the next chapter. Bye for now.